Welcome to Mystic Mojo. The latest update is I'm really struggling with my health because of the vaccines that I'm taking for the dog bites. The challenge, however, is still on. Just that I have not been able to work out, go to the forest, or go for my long walks. To honor that, I am putting up a video which is one of my old videos in Mizo, which is the language from the state where I come from, and I'm recreating that video in Hindi and English. This recipe was a personal favorite while growing up, and my nani, my maternal grandmother, used to make it, and my mother would also make it. So I decided to recreate the recipe, and it turned out pretty well. Let's see how. It's a pretty straightforward recipe which requires only two main ingredients, which is black lentils and yogurt. Take about 200 grams of black lentils and soak them in water with a little bit of salt overnight. Grind the soaked lentils coarsely or into a thick paste. There are two ways to use the lentils. One without the skin and one with the skin. I personally prefer the one with the skin because it gives a kind of flavor and texture. In all fairness, the choice is absolutely yours. I scoop out every last bit of the mixed paste and then I proceed to wash the mixie jar. I also like to clean as I go along, as that saves time and energy later rather than piling up a huge mound of utensils and dishes. In short, I don't like to procrastinate. Call it OCD. The thing about the water back home is that it's pristine and crystal clear with all the minerals intact, which is a rarity in a city like Delhi where the water is incredibly polluted. I add a small bit of salt into the batter and whisk it until it's fluffy. The consistency should not be too watery, otherwise it will not cook into beautiful fritters. Heat some oil on a kadhai or a wok, but don't let it burn to smoking point. That's important. The temperature of the oil should not exceed 365 degrees Fahrenheit. Make sure of that. Now scoop out small tablespoons of the batter and drop them on the oil. Be careful that it doesn't splash, and don't overcrowd the pan or the wok that you are frying in. Over the years, I've learned that the secret to a perfect fry is to heat the wok or the utensil you are using reasonably well. This technique is seen in Chinese, Thai, Malaysian style of cooking, where you get absolutely perfect fries, clean and clear of oil, no grease. Because I firmly believe that food should not look greasy, it should look clear, crisp and clean. That way, it is more appealing to the visual senses because you eat with your senses. There's a term in India which says that you are what you eat, and I believe in it wholeheartedly without a doubt. What do you have to say about that? Please leave your thoughts in the comment box. The fries should look slightly golden, and to check whether it's cooked, you can poke it with a matchstick, and if it doesn't stick, it means it's cooked through. Another way is that the fritters should be floating and bubbling away in the oil. Take a bowl of ice-cold water and pour a generous amount of asafoetida, about 2 tablespoons, while stirring it continuously or until it dissolves. With a straining ladle, drop the fritters onto this ice-cold water. Give it a nice ice bath so that it simmers down while it's still cooking on the inside. Asafoetida, or hing as it is called in India, is native to Central Asia, Eastern Iran and Afghanistan, where it is primarily grown and exported to the rest of the world. After soaking for a bit, gently swirl the fritters around the water filled with the goodness of hing or asafoetida. Roast a generous amount of cumin seeds until they turn smoky. Just make sure it doesn't burn. It should have a nutty flavor by the end of it. Let it cool a bit before you start grinding it, ideally on a mortar and pestle like I did. In another bowl, whisk about 450 grams of yogurt until it smoothens out. Sprinkle the coarse coriander powder onto this mixture and whisk it gently or fold it as you like it. Another very important ingredient which I almost forgot is black salt, which gives it that peculiar pungent taste which you must add to this curd, yogurt, cumin mixture. It's time to plate up, so you take out every single fritter and squeezing the water out by pressing gently. Arrange them either on a bowl or a platter and then pour the yogurt mix on top of it. Garnish it with a little bit of chili powder or whatever garnish that you want to. It could be pomegranate seeds, it could be coriander leaves, so the choice is entirely yours. Bon appetit and enjoy this delicious, refreshing dish which has come straight from my home. Thank you. See you tomorrow.